What up, what up? It's your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. It's What the Fuck Wednesday. Yeah, I know it's a little bit early. Um, we got a bad storm going on, so I mean it ain't like my internet's the best in the world to begin with. So we just gonna deal with it. Solo tonight. Life happens to some folks. So it's just me tonight. First and foremost, before we start anything off, I'd like to give a shout out to Big Sniz and Mama Sniz. They became grandparents again today. Uh, Beautiful little baby boy. So congratulations, my brother, my sister, and to my new uh, grandnephew. That being said, uh, little updates on some shows coming up. This Friday, we will be at open mic. Oh, this camera all fucked up. We're gonna have an open mic down in Camel. I'm not sure exactly who's throwing it, but it'll be at the Diamond. So if y'all want to check out some comedians down there, they got an open mic going on. I'm gonna be down there. John Huff will be down there. I guess Ken Sipe will be down there. So who knows? Come on down. I believe it's a free show. Also on Saturday, I'll be with John Huff and the guys at the East Side Civics in Youngstown. Uh, Doing a show out there. I believe that one might be $5. Uh, so come and check it out. Have a good time. Hang out. All right. So all them formalities out of the way there. First thing I think I want to talk about, since it's the most recent news. Um, and then forgive me, y'all. It's hot as fuck in the studio, so y'all might hear my fan in the background. Uh, but yeah, so India has landed on the moon. Not only have they landed on the moon, but they landed at the South Pole, something that nobody's ever done. But again, supposedly we weren't supposed to be able to get to the moon again, anyways. We found that out that was a lie when the Chinese was up there growing cotton on the dark side of the moon, no less. So 4 countries supposedly landed on the moon. America, obviously, even though some of y'all idiots still don't think we've been there. Uh, we got China. We know they've been growing cotton and whatever the fuck else they're doing up there. And India. Now I'm assuming that the fourth country is Russia. I didn't do any research on it because I just made that assumption. But who knows? Who knows? So I guess the big question is, well, one, there's been a lot of talk on the internet that India never really went. Which, ah, dude, it's not the 40s anymore. It's not the 30s. It ain't the fucking early 1900s. It ain't the late 1800s. We got the technology. We've been to the fucking moon. I'm sure that the moon is very occupied right now. Wouldn't doubt that there aren't colonies already on the moon. And if you don't believe that, then you're a fucking idiot. Um, Especially with all the so-called resources and everything that are out there on the moon, on Mars, on these comets and all this shit, stuff like that. What's up, Pillow Princess? Um, so yeah, this whole bull about India didn't go to the moon for real. Yeah, dude, Elon Musk is taking niggas out to the fucking space like it's Disney World. Come on. Odd thing I did hear though, the Indian, and we're talking dot not slot. The Indian government or media or whatever, being that they were so happy and so joyous that they, did this thing. It's a big thing to them, just like it was a big thing to us back in the day. Um, they let out a few things. I don't think they realized that they let out. So some of us out there, I mean, and this has been kind of up in the air, knew that there was water on the moon. We were told for years and years and years there's nothing on the moon. Then all of a sudden, it popped up a while back when my kid was still in school that there was water on the moon, and then it disappeared again. And then they said that there was water there, but it's in the soil, it's in the ground, it's in there's no atmosphere. Well, according to the Indians, there's water at the South Pole of the moon. Not only is there water, but vegetation and maybe life. And they talked about it all willy nilly, like they've always known, like it was no big thing. See, I don't even think this is the government hiding it. This is fucking NASA. NASA, people don't realize that NASA is above the government. There's a lot of levels that are a lot higher than the government there. So for y'all I'm gonna try to keep on these few comments as we go. I ain't got no producer tonight, so. So with that being said, I'd like to know what in the fuck did we do that the United States is not allowed back on the moon? Because even Buzz Aldrin said it. Buzz Aldrin said it. Neil Armstrong said it. They saw something. Somebody, they stopped them. Somebody came and communicated, or something communicated with them and said that we were not allowed back on the moon. And then NASA came out, and I think the interview was like 2-3 years ago. Some spokesperson for NASA says we can't make it through the Van Allen belt, and there's another belt out there that we lost the technology. We don't. Y'all motherfuckers realize that we made it to the moon the first time in damn near a roller coaster car and an Atari. There is more technology in your cell phone right now than there ever was in the first few space shuttles. Just put that in your head. So, critters and shit flying around here. So yeah, there's no excuse at all. I mean, and for y'all people who think that there's some of y'all that still believe in the dome theory. I couldn't believe that shit. I talked to some folks that believe there's still a dome over the earth. There's more flat earthers out there than I've actually thought there was. I mean, I met a few flat earthers, and I mean, I'm not a flat earther, but I could make a better argument than they could ever do for their cause, just because I've done the research. So yeah, just if you don't think that we are that people are on the moon right now, just think about the quantum computers. Yeah, nobody really, those has been kind of quiet lately. Nobody's really talking about the quantum computers too much, but they do got a big significance on what's going on right now, especially with all the UFO disclosures and shit like that. So for y'all don't know, let me hip you to a quick little sum up of it. These quantum computers, they were built up. It's been going on like 10 years, if not longer now. But there are these massive computers, and they make their CPUs are in stacks, and these stacks of CPUs, not only do they gain their, now mind you, think about this because it's kind of hard to fathom. They get their resources, they get their information, they get their whatever to process from other dimensions. Yes, other dimensions. They don't know which dimensions, supposedly. They don't know what's on the other side of it, but all they know is they're pulling resources from these dimensions. They poke little holes in the fabric of time space, and that's where they get their resources. And they stack these chips higher, or they stack these CPUs higher and higher. And the more and more they stack, it exponentially gets higher. The more and more holes it rips into dimensions. But people hear that and they think, oh, that's just science fiction, and they don't really grasp that concept. So we're going to leave that, just let y'all think about that for a minute. Now, in order to cool these supercomputers, in order to cool and keep these things running, they have to be colder than space itself. In order to do that, they need an element called helium-3, which is very rare, very, very rare here on Earth. But you know where it's not rare? You know where it's very, very abundant? On Mars. On Mars and on the moon. Mostly on Mars, though, because that's where we've been getting the helium-3. So, in doing the research in these quantum computers back in the day, they just bypass, like it's all willy-nilly, that the process on going to Mars and getting this helium-3, which was a very primitive process back then. They claimed that they took a spaceship, shuttle, whatever the fuck you want to call it, and they dropped these tubes with parachutes onto the surface of Mars. Somehow, some way, this collects up helium-3 out of the atmosphere. Then a balloon pops open, it flies up, and it gets retrieved. That's how they were getting the helium-3. Primitive process. Except that we aren't supposed to be at Mars. We're not supposed to be around Mars. We're not even supposed to be fucking near Mars just yet. Let alone being able to fly there, be in the atmosphere, be low enough in the atmosphere to drop these vessels and collect whatever, get it back, and then blaze back home in this lifetime. Because you know it's supposed to take so many years or whatever to get to these particular places. Well, if it took that long, then this would not be efficient. So this bullshit about it's so hard to get to these certain places or whatever, no, that's the fucking lie. That is the big fucking lie. You know, Donald Trump kept telling y'all we needed a Space Force, but he kept it real vague. And he kept pushing for it. Everybody made fun of him for it. Everybody made fun of the Space Force. We don't need the Space Force. Yeah, the fuck we do. There's shit going on in space, and more it is coming out. It can't be held back because the other governments of the world don't give two fucks about the United States' secrecy. They don't give two fucks about it. They're going to get theirs. They're doing them. U.S. is no longer the superpower it used to be. I'm sorry to say, I know a lot of you gung-ho veterans out there, this and that. I was in the service too, man. I love my country. But America is not the superpower it used to be. America is not top dog in the world anymore. It fucking sucks, but that is the reality of it. You fucking Democrats and you snowflakes, you did this. You fucking did this. You voted in this administration. You took out a good fucking president. This is what the fuck we get. You know, I'm not like, you know, you other fucking idiots. Oh, 45 wasn't my president. This person wasn't my president. No. Yes, Joe Biden is my fucking president. And he fucking sucks. All right. That being said, let's get back to this whole this whole dimensional thing with the computers. Just recently, when they had the UFO disclosure, I talked about this on one of the other shows. One of the servicemen, one of the whistleblowers, said that he wouldn't classify the entities that they have recovered or they have saw or they have been in contact with. He wouldn't classify them as extraterrestrials because he said they were also interdimensional beings. So now you take that interdimensional being statement and you take that quantum computer ripping holes into other dimensions, and we got a big fucking issue there. And Lord knows what the fuck CERN done blew holes into. So, yeah, India's on the fucking moon. The U.S. has been to the moon. I don't think that we got the original footage. Actually, I know for a fact we didn't get the original footage because I've seen a couple news things and documentaries that have stated that We lost the original footage. That's why this fake so-called footage that supposedly Stanley Kubrick made on his soundstage. So yeah, congratulations to India. I can't wait to see what comes out of that. For you idiots who are out there denying it, hey, deny what you will. You're allowed to have your own opinion. But yeah. So that being said, another topic I wanted to hit on, and this is another fuck you to old Dirty Joe. These fires that are going on in Maui. I would like to say, first of all, thank you, Elon Musk, for helping our people out more than our own fucking administration. Thank you for the power stations and the internet, the Starlink internet that you are giving these people that is much needed. Back in the day, you wouldn't have thought the internet was that big of a deal, but when you're isolated and some shit like that, Zuck, what's wrong? You didn't like what I was saying? You didn't like what I was saying? For you people who are watching me, we just had another internet glitch as soon as I started saying that. So, since Zuck is listening, or whoever is listening here, why don't you tell the world, especially the Americans, about how much of that land that you own in Maui? Well, why don't you tell the Americans that you own more land in Maui than the Hawaiian government itself? So fuck you, Zuck. Fuck Jeff Bezos. Even though I was a supporter of Bezos. Apparently he got in on that on Maui. There's a fourth person. I don't recall who the name was. And number 5, first and last but not least, first in the fucking piece of shit crew, Oprah fucking Winfrey. Now, the reason why I'm going off on them for that, these people are all the major landowners in Maui and a lot of the other islands. These people all wanted to invest in these 15-minute cities. For people who don't know what the 15-minute cities are, they are these just pretty much consolidated, isolated, high-tech cities ran by governments. They have their own rules, their own laws, their own this, their own that. Everything is, they're made, they call them 15-minute cities because they're made so you don't leave. They're trying to do that shit in a lot of parts of the world. They make it real convenient for you to live where you're living. They make sure your schools, your doctors, your dentists, your grocery stores, your everything else is all within 15 minutes in 15 minutes walking distance of your home. Sounds good. Sounds good. Until you find out that when you want to leave that city, you have to hit a border. You got to have a card. You got to have permission to leave your 15-minute city and go somewhere else. That's the problem. We're going to have borders in our own country, city to city, but we can't have a border at the bottom of our country to keep out the fucking illegals? Really? Now, the thing that was stopping this was the sacred native Hawaiian land, which belongs to the people. Well, somewhere in their charter, somebody fucked up and said that land stays with the Hawaiian people unless a natural disaster takes everything out and somebody's trying to come in and fix things. And who comes to save the day? Now, the native Hawaiians, the native islanders there have been fighting for decades and decades and decades to keep that land theirs. Now it's gone. Gone. And this was all planned out. Now, a lot of people think this is a conspiracy. And I'm thinking, I've been weighing in on it. But the more and more I find out, the more and more that this was all planned out. First, number one fucked up thing is the few poor people or lower, on the chain people who still live there were all evicted. Just think about that. They haven't even got their aid yet. They haven't even got all these fires out yet. They haven't even gotten anything straight. They don't even know how many bodies are out there or anything. But a fucking judge made time to write hundreds of eviction notices, signed and set out. That shit had to be ready. That shit had to be prepared. There were people, they have one of the best emergency warning systems in the world. Obviously better than the White House. Nothing was turned on. Now, at first, the excuse was, oh, these are for tsunamis, so we didn't want to turn them on and had people run into the hills, into the fire. Found out that was a lie. Because there was another news clip that showed what this emergency system was for. It was for tsunamis. It was for fires. It was for military warning. Not only were there sirens, but they also send out emergency texts. It's an automated system. So anybody who had a phone got this emergency text. None of it was sent out. None of it was implemented. Nothing. Oddly enough, the same guy running shit down there was the same dickhead who was running shit in Vegas, when the old man with all this ammunition somehow snuck through one of the most camera infested places in the world with fucking thousands and thousands of fucking rounds and just dumped on the crowd and then killed himself or was taken out by nobody knows exactly what happened with that shit. Same fucking dude. Same fucking dude. Not odd yet? Still thinking it's okay. So today, Greg sends over in our personal chat TikTok video of someone else who thought this was odd. So started looking around. There's fires in Portugal. There's fires in Canada. There's fires in Maui. There's fires in a couple other countries. Supposedly from climate change. They're blaming all this shit on climate change for you fucking snowflake environmentalist whack jobs out there. Oh, but now over 600 people have been arrested for arson. Each one of the countries that are on fire. So just think about that. This ain't a money grab. Canada's on fire right now. This ain't a money grab. Maui's on fire. You see that? Now, a lot of people want to go with this direct energy weapon idea or whatever. But just think about this. Oh, what was it, about 6 years ago? Maybe a little bit longer. California caught on fire. And oddly, only certain houses were burned. Only certain pieces of land were burned. There'd be a car on one side and a tree on the other. The car is melted to the ground, but the tree is fine. Same thing that happened in Maui. Because Oprah's land hasn't been touched. Zuck's land has not been touched. Bezos' land has not been touched. The other dude's land has not been touched. And the excuse that they gave for these fires in Maui is, oddly enough, the same excuse that they used for fucking California. A bad transformer blew up too close to a tree, which caught the tree on fire, which started all this. I'll give you that in one spot. But 3 different spots of the fucking island, miles and miles away from each other, you're full of shit. Full of shit. Now, whether this was a direct energy weapon or whether it was arson, or, well, we all know, anybody who got a fucking brain knows this was arson. It was a fucking massacre. That's exactly what it was. This direct energy weapon thing, I don't know. There's a lot of footage of a supposed Chinese satellite shooting beams down. It was some scientific or whatever shit they claim. The beam's there. The beam was shot down. It was not directly on the island, but there was something, and it was viewable. It was visual. You could see this shit shooting down. So I'm still not with the direct energy weapon thing, but who knows anymore? Who fucking knows? It's a damn shame what they're doing to them people. And what's even fucking worse is that before Joe Biden would even agree to send any fucking, he sent them $700, and it wasn't per resident, it was per fucking family. You know how much fucking rent is in Hawaii? It's like 3 times that amount for a small 1-bedroom place. $700 per family. Fuck you. Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you. $700. And before he agreed to send any more aid or help, wondering why the Hawaiians still haven't gotten too much of shit except from Elon, is because he made Congress agree that we send $4 billion fucking dollars to the Ukraine before we got to send any fucking help to Maui. Fuck the Ukraine already. Fuck them. Fuck them. You know what, the people there, I understand they had no part of what the fuck the politicians and all them are going on, what they got going there. So I do feel bad for the civilian people. But as far as everybody else, fuck them. Yes, U.S. has biolabs there. Quit fucking lying. We all know, y'all let them do documentaries on that shit like 12 years ago. They're still out there online. There are biolabs all over fucking Ukraine, and they're owned by the U.S. and NATO. The Ukraine does got Nazi shit going on all through there. And they're fucking regaling in it. The Ukraine is fucking locking motherfuckers down. They won't let anybody. These are supposed to be the good guys that we're helping. They're not allowed to have any fucking knowledge of any fucking thing. Their internet, their media, everything is fucking controlled now. But Putin's the bad guy? For years, he's been saying he didn't want biolabs. For years, the one thing that I know, that's been always, they don't like fucking child trafficking out there. They'll pimp out whatever adult, but they don't like this whole child trafficking shit out there. And there was a big, it got covered up, child trafficking scheme that was going over in the Ukraine also. And speaking of child trafficking, let's get back to the fucking chocolate wonder herself, Oprah, again. Because we all know the rumors that go around Oprah and her kid fucking, swiping. The fuck were you doing down in Maui, Oprah? Especially when they told you they didn't want you there. You weren't at your property. So let's go down this road with the children. Oddly enough, the day before the fires started, school was canceled. So every kid had to be home. And it wasn't just in one little part. The fucking island. School was canceled. Kids were all home, while their parents were at work. All home mostly by themselves. Over 300 kids are missing, and that was as of yesterday. 300 children missing. No bodies, no teeth, no bone remnants. They're trying to claim that the heat was so intense that's, they can't identify anybody. They're asking the people, here's another one to fall down, another rabbit hole. They're asking people now to give up DNA samples so they can see if they can match up whatever they find, the remains. Mm-hmm. Just find it very odd, the queen of the child thieves, uh, sure as fuck popped up pretty quick, popped up quicker than our goddamn president. Now all these kids are magically gone. Poof. I had the nerve to fucking send these people $700 fucking dollars. If that wasn't the biggest fuck you to our own Americans. We got illegals in posh hotels in New York destroying shit. But y'all give them people $700 a family. They were blocking fucking roads off. They wouldn't even let people escape. They were telling people, go back home. We got this covered. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. So, I don't know if I might have mentioned this on the other podcast I did, the other show I did. But I'm going to bring it back up anyways. So I did. So what's up, Ken? Be a sponsor and let Ukrainian. Yeah. I'll sponsor a 17 or 18-year-old Ukrainian girl, or back the Russians call it a mail order bride, but if they want to be called sponsors, hell, I don't know what the rule is or whatever on that, but you use a few 18, 19-year-old Ukrainian girls, 17, and we'll wait a year. Or we could go to California and have a heyday with them pedophiles. Jokes. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with this country anymore, man. I don't know what's going on with this anything anymore. A good buddy of mine, him and I had a little tiff earlier. He claims if you vote, you're just perpetuating the lie. I tend to think on a different manner. We're all under somebody's thumb. No matter what, there's a lot of people out there who claim they're living free and they're living this, and I know the fuck you're not. Whether you're under the thumb of your government or under the thumb of your religion or even under the thumb of your spouse, you're always under somebody's thumb. Just got to pick the winning team, man. Don't give me this, if you don't play the game, then you don't get fucked by the game. No, that's bullshit. That is bullshit. If you don't play the game, then you get ran by the game. And then eventually you get run out the stadium. Look at Maui. So I just choose to pick the winning team. I choose the best of the evils, and I try to roll with it. That being said, I don't know how many people have been watching or keeping track of the whole Trump indictments and all that shit. Oh, here we go again. The Trump indictments and shit. I think it's a bunch of bullshit, but something people think that this doesn't affect them, and it does. It does very much. You know, if you take out Trump as a celebrity and you look at what's going on, this affects all of us. Here's one thing that's been bothering me that I found out today. That I know if it's let to fly, it's going to come back on a lot of us. So they got this indictment on these documents cases. There's, I think, 10 that, and this is no exaggeration. They said like 10 million pages of evidence that supposedly Jack Smith has on Trump and on this whole case. They said if you would stack it up, press it down like you were packaging it, all the paperwork would be stacked higher than the Washington Monument. So, as any lawyer, again, this is just Joe Schmo. It's not Donald Trump. As any lawyer, and a good lawyer would be like, they have to go through the evidence. And it's going to take some time to go through all this evidence. Hell, Walmart and Visa were suing each other. It took 7 or 8 years just for 1 million pages of evidence. And this is like, I think they said maybe 10 times that, dude. Maybe more. I don't know the exact number. It's a lot. And Jack Smith is pushing to have this to start the trial off in December. Okay. So his excuse for this is, and this is what's going to affect all of us, you don't need to go through all the evidence. That's what the memo that Jack Smith and his people, that their whole prosecutorial regime said, not only to the judge but to Trump and his lawyers and team. You don't need to do discovery. You don't need to go through all the fucking evidence. We're just going to put you on trial. So now, imagine you're in court for some bullshit. And there's all this supposed evidence. But you don't need it. You don't need to look at it. We're just going to throw this. Fuck you. Fuck you. And anybody who thinks that shit is okay, fuck them too. I don't care if you like Trump or if you don't like Trump. That is fucking wrong. That is fucking wrong. Fani Willis is on some shit too. That bitch needs to go into the Constitution and look up the Supremacy Clause. She got no jurisdiction. You see how Alvin Bragg started running this cocksucker, and now he's quiet, and there's a good possibility his shit is going to get tossed. Why you think they bring the big Fanny and Jack Smith in this bullshit? And Jack Smith still hasn't fucking explained why he's using outside Supreme Courts when it's Florida's jurisdiction. Not only that, we don't need to see the evidence against Trump, but the January 6th evidence, gone. Any and all bullshit that they brought up in that sham of a fucking Congress, whatever the fuck, on January 6th, all the fucking everything that supposedly they had, all this evidence, gone. They lost it. It's gone. Who the fuck? Really? Really? One of the so-called big, or the starts of one of the biggest cases in fucking history, and it's gone? But you guys are still putting people in prison. Oh, that's something else I wanted to talk to folks about. Anybody know what geofencing is? I didn't know what geofencing was. Wait a second. Let's see what Ken got to say here. Whether you like Trump or not, what they're doing to him should scare everyone. They know they can't beat him in other elections. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right, Ken. So geofencing. We all wondered how they're just picking up hundreds and hundreds of people who were supposedly at the January 6th tour, insurrection my ass. They were caught by geofencing. What geofencing is, it's a new app that the government is using in coordination with Google and Microsoft and all the rest of the fucking owners of the internet. And what they do is they go through everybody's data, and whoever was in a particular zone, they'll triangulate a zone, or actually it's a square. They get a perimeter. Say they the White House, and then they'll have like 100-yard perimeter around the White House. Anybody, whether you were doing something or not, anybody who was in that zone at that particular time, you're fucking arrested. No questions asked. They haven't even been giving these people enough time to defend themselves. They haven't even given these people any kind of anything. Gone. You're an insurrectionist. Geofencing. You're going to tell me that ain't going to be implemented on you? And knowing that we had this technology, why is there still nobody, fucking nobody, in prison over the summer of love? Don't tell me you can't find out who they were. Don't tell me you don't know who they were robbing shit and burning shit down. We have geofencing now. This should scare all you guys. Again, to quote Donald Trump, they aren't going for him. They're going to you. He's the one thing that's in the way. Had a friend of mine say, Trump's just a criminal and he's no hero. Just depends. Trump has his fault. Anybody who wants to be the leader of America ain't got it all upstairs. I'll give you that. I'll give that to anybody. Ain't got it all upstairs. But you know what? He did the best job. And for all these people who want to say, well, what did he do? Shall we rehash because you didn't do your homework? He best president for black folks. Way better than Obama ever did for black folks. Best president for minorities, legal ones. Best president for our economy. Best president on our pharmaceuticals. Best president on peace. Y'all forgot about Trump's Nobel Peace Prize? Oh yeah, y'all forgot about that. While Obama laughed in black people's faces and while he was eating dinner with them and was putting their kids in prison, while Biden was out there saying black folks is raping his daughters and his grandmothers and beating up his sons, Clinton and his wife, them people over there just chilling on the island, whether they were eating the kids or fucking the kids or whatever, then dumbass GW. But you're going to tell me Trump was a bad president? Y'all motherfuckers better pray that cat make it back. Him, or if they do tie up Trump and he isn't able to run, which that's all they're trying to do. Vivek Ramaswamy, that man got some shit. I like him, and I like Tim Scott. But they ain't going to let them. They're already attacking them. Larry Elder was even a good candidate. And they won't even let that motherfucker on the motherfucking debate. Because they know Larry Elder will eat motherfuckers up. When it comes to say, I like Vivek. Vivek got good, fire. Vivek got good, ideas and shit. But when it comes down to straight facts and straight data, you ain't getting no better than Larry Elder. But they ain't gonna let Larry Elder in. And it ain't because he's a black man or a person of color or whatever. It's because he's good for the fucking country, and it's because he tells the fucking truth. That being said, I'm gonna touch on a couple other things, and then I'm gonna end this quick. Uh, yeah. Ken knows about the adrenochrome. For those who don't know about the adrenochrome and all these little hints of ice cream that old Dirty Joe keeps dropping, yeah, you're absolutely right. They were telling Joe, here, let me put this up here so everybody can see. They were telling Joe Biden to go to fuck home. He was walking by and telling him to fuck you, Joe. And you know what's really gonna who's gonna piss off is their representative, that Jayapal chick, because that chick's a fucking cunt, and she's straight Trump hating Democrat all day. Yeah, and that's kind of fucked up that you said that Maui is or Hawaii is turning red. Kind of a little on the nose there. Good seeing or good talking to you too there, Pillow Princess. How the fuck I get this back on? All right. So one more thing I want to touch on, and I think I touched on it before, but I did a couple of podcasts out in Cleveland. My dude Marquand, It's Real Out Here Banks. You can check. I'm sure you could go on his Facebook page and see the interview that I did with him, and also on G Leone's Facebook page, I did an interview with his podcast. And Marquand asked me what I thought about the whole Mississippi, the whole fight that was going on. And I know a lot of people know my views on it, and some people might not have heard it. But like I said before, I wanted to do my research and see what was going on before what happened, whatever. And the media's got what they deserve. They got their ass whooped. My problem is some of the most racist and heinous shit was ever said in the comments on every video. How the fuck you think that's right? And everybody, don't give me this. This ain't back in the day no more, motherfuckers. This ain't back then. If you want to go back then, why aren't you fucking beating up the Africans that fucking sold you? If a white man was putting up videos of a chair practicing to beat up black folks, the world would fucking explode. Fucking ridiculous. Why gotta be black and white all the goddamn time? You keep fucking putting this shit out there, it's never gonna go the fuck away. If I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. If you were born in 77 or after, you don't know what real racism is. Because I don't know what the fuck you people be talking about, and I was born in 77. And I can guarantee that damn near every white person in your fucking life has treated you very well. I know black folks out here with white kids that still got the nerve to be talking this shit. It did take away the stereotype of black people can't swim, though. We know you can swim now, motherfuckers. Get in the water. All jokes aside, though, I'm in for equality. And that's true equality. So I'm waiting for a white person to make a video, maybe making a noose. Or a white person loading up his shotgun. Because you can't talk about what you can't do in a small town, but best believe you could get a chair ready to fuck up somebody on a boat. And to the pussy ass motherfucker who grabbed the chair, and then it's everybody so proud, and everybody, he hit a woman. He hit a fucking woman. Big man. Big man. So again, as far as just people are concerned, them people who got their ass whooped, they deserved it because they were assholes. The people who did it, hey, you were there. When you start dripping your little fucking bits of color into the whole situation, that's where my problem comes in. We all one race, motherfuckers. We all one people. And everybody, not just the white folks, everybody is tired of the fucking race card getting pulled out every time somebody feels like a goddamn victim. I'm going to end on this. The world lost a great little soul a few days ago. A good friend of my daughter's, a girl that was part of our family for years. She had a disabled little boy who wasn't supposed to live past his first year, and he made it to 11 and a half years old, and he passed away 2 days ago. So my heart, prayers, good vibes, all that goes out to his family. You will be missed, Tristan. You had a lot of people who loved you, even if we weren't there at the end. So what's it say here? Yep, you're absolutely right. But so like I said, I'm gonna end the show off with Rest in Paradise, Tristan. Go meet your Uncle Martise. And we'll all see you soon. That being said, this is your boy Marco from Upside Down Studios. I'm out.